Alright, this is a video that introduces you to having user input control the movement of sprites, and we're going to look at a couple of different ways to get this done. The first is going to be complete control with the mouse. So you can see we've got our main character here, our cat Scratch, and what we want to have happen is we want to have the cat just simply follow us around. Wherever the mouse goes, the cat goes. So when the green flag is clicked and we want this to go on forever, I'm going to have the cat, and this is a cool block here that you may not have played with yet called point towards, and there's a drop down menu. Now right now the only option here is mouse pointer. However, when you have other sprites, you could say point towards a different sprite. So if you were like creating a game where there was some enemy chasing you, no matter where you were, you could say point towards your protagonist, and the enemy would always follow your protagonist. So I'm just going to point towards mouse pointer. When I hit go, you can see the cat is always following the mouse, but it's not moving. I just need a simple move block. Now when I hit go, I'm going to see that that's moving pretty quickly. I could probably adjust this speed depending on how challenging I wanted the game to be. But also, if you notice, you can't stop it, which may make the game fun or that may be frustrating. It just depends on what your goals are. So a way that I could control when the cat was moving is I could actually use some parallelism here, break out the move block, and create a new when green flag is clicked and say forever if you go to sensing, there's this cool block that says if the mouse is pushed down. Now I can say if the mouse is pushed down, move 10 steps. So now we're pointing, right, but we're not moving. If I push the mouse down, now suddenly the cat follows, but if I want it to stop, I just let go of the mouse and suddenly the cat stops. So a cool variation on having the mouse control. Now, I may not want the mouse to control it. I may want keys to control it. There's actually two different ways to do this. To begin with, I'm just going to get rid of that, and we'll go ahead and leave our when the green flag is clicked. Oops. What I want to have happen is I'm going to say if, and now if I come back here to sensing, instead of saying if mouse is down, I can say if key is pressed. So maybe I want the up arrow, and if the up arrow is pressed, well, the Y variable is our vertical axis, so I'm going to change Y by 10. And now if I hit the Y key, you can see the cat moves up. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say if the down arrow is pressed, and change Y by -10. And now when I hit the green flag, I can move up and down. I could do the same thing with left and right, or some gamers like to use AWSD for key commands, so I could just change this to A, and the cat would then move up when I press the A, or it should be W, but when I use a lettered key. And you could use an AND statement over here in our operators, or an OR statement, and you could say if the up arrow or if the W key is pressed. So you could have multiple keys do the same thing. Another way to accomplish the exact same output is instead of saying when the green flag is clicked, coming over here to events and saying when the up arrow is pressed, right? And then we could just simply say change Y. And this is going to give us the exact same results. The only sort of, I guess, disadvantage to using this method, or maybe this is an advantage, this doesn't depend on your game having started. So if you want the game to like start and end by the green flag, this overrides that, because if the up arrow is pressed, even if the green flag hasn't been clicked, this will still trigger. The previous way will only work if the green flag has already been pressed. Small difference, but can make a pretty big impact on your gameplay. So that's an introduction to the sensing commands and the movement commands in Scratch.